Hi there, everybody. Thanks for joining me this week. You know you're in for a treat when you hear that sound because it means it's time for another edition of the Rec Poker Podcast. Steve Fredlin can't be here tonight, so I'm your host, Jim Reed, Bluff Sterini in the home game. And if you want to hear about me and the rest of the crew, you can go to rec.poker/crew. I'd like to thank Website Amp and, of course, Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. We got a bunch of exciting stuff to talk about today. We're going to have an interview with a guy named Kev Math. I'm sure you've heard of him before. We're having him back to the show to get into even more details. But before we do that, I want to introduce the rest of the panel, the rest of the wrecking crew that's here to join me in the booth every week. So, fellas, why don't you share a little bit about yourself with the rest of Rec Poker Nation?
Well, I'm Chris Jones. You can find me 5x5 on PokerStars or Twitter.
And I am John Somsky. I am Poker Geek MN everywhere. And tonight I have a quote from Tom McAvoy. No limit hold'em. Hours of boredom followed by moments of sheer terror.
How true.
And I'm Rob Washam, and I'm Radman50 everywhere. And one of my favorite comedians from the old days, Stephen Wright, said that he was out playing poker one night with tarot cards. He got a full house and 4 people died.
I love Stephen Wright. And we're going to get to Kevin in just one second, but I've got a couple pieces of news to tease before we do. That's right. Rec Poker is getting together with Club WPT and the World Poker Tour. We're going to have a little information about a tournament that we're running together a little later in the show. And we're also getting more involved with Sky Matsuhashi and the Poker Forge and Smart Poker Study and all the great stuff he does over there. So you're going to be seeing a little more Sky Matsuhashi with your Rec Poker Premium membership. But you all didn't come here to learn about the Rec Poker website or what's going on in e-poker land. We're here to talk about the WSOP and live poker with the man himself, Kevin Mathers. Kevin, welcome back to the show, man.
Thanks, guys. And I appreciate being on the show again. And I apologize for those who are viewing on YouTube and see me in a different shade than the rest of the crew. The rest of the wrecking crew, for some reason on Zoom, I am in black and white. It's like I'm from the past or something.
Old school, baby.
But yeah, well, I'm in Vegas, virtually. So as you can tell by my background. But I'm honored to be on again, and I hope to answer some questions and satisfy some curiosities and a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, well, we knew we were getting you back, and so I did put out in the forums that if people had some questions about WSOP and about all the stuff that you're so knowledgeable about with the tournaments themselves, the structures, the different schedules, where to be and when, and that kind of stuff. And we did get a couple questions. So the panel I know can jump in here anytime, but I'm just going to hit you with a couple right off the top. So. Is there anything just right off the top of your mind when we started to get a little more information about what the series was going to look like this year that was like, we got to talk about this with some Rec Poker players?
Well, I think there's a couple of concerns. I think the big one right now is the COVID issue. And I sort of got myself a little bit of hot water. Well, I don't know if hot water is the right term, but I sort of provide a link to the rules this year. And the most important rule for most people is Rule 115, which basically is about if you catch COVID, if you're within 6 feet of someone who tested positive for COVID or any of those things, you can read the rule yourself in more detail. Basically, you get disqualified from the tournament, and a lot of people got concerned about that. I mean, for obvious reasons. Some people sort of thought that even if you made the money and then somehow you get disqualified, you don't get paid, which is not the case. If you do, I mean, we sort of saw that situation last year at the 2020 U.S. man event final table at the Rio. Yupeshka da Silva was 8th in chips, tested positive, and he got disqualified, but he got 9th place money. So that's a situation you would see. If there's 50 players left and there's already been 100 paid, you're going to get 50th place money. So hopefully that will not be an issue. I mean, hopefully. So what happened a few days later was the WSP issued a clarification on Twitter, and I can read that if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do.
So this is from Twitter. This is 10 days ago on August 13th, and it reads as follows. It's in the black and white, so it's important. The health and safety of our World Series of Poker participants and team members is our top priority. To that end, Caesars Entertainment will continue to operate in a manner consistent with CDC guidelines while following the applicable rules and mandates of our local governments and regulators at all times. Consistent with current CDC guidelines, WSOP participants who are known to have been exposed to a person who has tested positive for COVID-19 will not be required to leave the tournament and quarantine if they are fully vaccinated within the appropriate timing parameters and remain asymptomatic since the time of exposure. We recognize that the COVID-19 public health situation is constantly evolving. We will continue to work with our team of health and safety experts, local government, and our regulators. And all our policies are subject to change as guidance evolves. We remain committed to providing the safest environment possible for the return of the World Series of Poker. End of quote. And I mean, so basically, if you're vaccinated, that's a good thing to be at this point. So, we don't know. It's going to be constantly evolving. We don't know what's going to happen between now and September, October, November. If this World Series of Poker happened right now, we'll all be playing at the table wearing a mask or face covering, whatever. We'll see. That's going to evolve as time goes on. If the positivity rates in Clark County go down, then it's more likely that we won't need to wear a mask, which would be ideal for many people.
And I know for our listeners, this is coming out on the last day of August because we take about a week to send it out. We're recording this on the 23rd, and just recently, Clark County issued a mask mandate. Is it countywide for all just interior?
Yeah, it's basically basically, if you're indoors, you are to wear a mask.
Right. So that's
casinos, poker rooms, restaurants, et cetera, et cetera.
And I know I don't know how to really ask this question. I'm not in Las Vegas, but what do we think is the compliance rate going to be in, for instance, like in the casinos and that sort of thing? Does anyone have I know we're all just speculating, but is 100 something that people should be expecting? Is that realistic? Are people going to people? What are people's takes here?
I've been in casinos in Vegas in the last week, and they were very actively going around telling people to put their masks on and cover their nose, making sure they're wearing it properly. And this was the hotel casino employees. So they were out there telling people to make sure that they had their masks on and they were wearing them properly. And it was a lot more so than it was when I was there in, say, December of last year. They weren't even as strict as they are being right now. So
it makes sense that if the actual casino venues become incentivized to enforce it, there are the people who have the staff on the floor who are actually going to be in a position to do something about it. So that does make sense. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it's stupid to have a rule if you're not going to enforce it. Typically, that's not setting yourself up for success. So, all right.
Yeah, that definitely is encouraging to see that. But it's World Series of Poker time. You're going to see, hopefully, people from around the world. But it's like we're going to see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But like you said, it's good. What Rob said about they're strictly enforcing rule. We'll see. Hopefully, that will continue and inside the tournament area, the WSOP.
Mm-hmm. And like you were saying, Kevin, if the rates go down and it turns out that it's less of a concern in that region, I'm sure following the CDC guidelines are typically going to be a good decision.
Yeah, I believe it's if it drops under 5% for 2 straight weeks, and they do this on every Tuesday, then that requirement will be removed.
Interesting.
I believe it's under 5%, but for 2 straight weeks.
Right.
And right now, I think we're at 14%. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There's plenty of time.
That's true. Yeah, Chris.
Well, you just mentioned people coming from all over the world too as part of this, and I think people are aware that part of where the WSOP gets, a large portion of some of their dealer base is from other parts of the world, other parts of the country. Have you heard about their recruiting process? And are they gonna have the capacity at this point to meet the demand? And what do you think the demand will be? I guess how do you balance those two things? But
yeah, that's I think at this point, things were like relatively, if they're the same right now, I think there may be an issue with available dealers. Because I was listening to Chad Holloway on the Poker News podcast last week, and it was middle of August, and they said they had hired about a third of the dealers they needed, and that's kind of a bit of a concern. So, I think the issue is going to. I think they're guaranteeing $15 a down for dealers that they hire. So we'll see. We'll see if that sort of encourages some people that were kind of on the fence. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be caps on certain tournaments, especially the weekend tournaments like Reunion, the Millionaire Maker, Monster Stack, all the big weekend events. And we could see reduced cash game tables, reduced daily deep stack tables, reduced one table satellites, etc. So it's again, there's a lot of unknown right now, and it's sort of like people gonna. It's an issue all over the country about employment, even outside of poker. So we've all experienced it. It's there's a shortage of available workforce.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first, folks. If you're somewhere near Las Vegas and you don't have a lot of plans come October and November, you know how to move a few cards next to each other. Maybe take the drive, see who's hiring.
They're definitely hiring. If you go to Caesars.com/careers, type in WSOP and the search bar, you'll see the various jobs available. Including there's floor staff.
Yep, good point.
Tournament clerks. All sorts of people. The Rio and the WSOP need a lot of bodies. So hey, if you're in the general vicinity, plenty of good jobs are available right now.
And I was kind of joking, but honestly, everyone on this panel is here because they had a passion for poker in some way, and then they made their own way in poker just by doing poker things that they love until they caught on with the right people, and now they're here co-hosting this podcast or guest appearing on this podcast because of their already amazing place in the poker industry. So, we joke about it, but life is short. If you have any interest in getting involved in the poker industry or working with WSOP or in that area or in that part of the world, take a shot. They need people. Why not you? Write your own story. Go down there. Take your shot. People should do that more. I firmly believe. I know you believe that, Kevin.
Oh yes, I definitely. This will be, well, fingers crossed. Of course, if nothing changes, but this will be my 5th year working for the WSOP on the Twitter account, and it was sort of like I was let go. I was working for Bluff Magazine, and then the magazine shut down in 2014, and it was sort of like there was no way I was working I got hired by Pocket Fives, but it wasn't like I wasn't really expecting to be working for Pocket Fives at the WSOP. It was just sort of like I sort of had to shoot. I emailed Jack Ethel. It's like, because they've had their issues. They've had their issues over the years with people managing the Twitter account and saying some things that probably weren't very customer service friendly. It's like, it's true. If you, well, I won't. People who know. But it's sort of like, what? Look, I'm really good. I'm kind of humble bragging, but I'm really good at Twitter, and I'm kind of popular. So I figured, what? This is my shot. Working for the World Series of Poker. So I did, and this will be my 5th year working for them, and hope maybe one time, eventually I'll be a full-time employee, which would be pretty nice. But you got my foot in the door, so that's all I can do at this point.
Yes, sir. I love it. I love to hear it.
And
John,
actually, I don't think it's much of a humble brag. I think it's more of just a fact. If you were to look up good on Twitter in the dictionary, I think your name very likely would be the thing that would show up there.
Thank you.
You're here. So we were talking a bit about sort of like some of the logistics of running poker tournament series down there. And, I'm a Canadian player, so I'm going to be traveling internationally. And a couple people have asked me, what's an effective way to, get money down there effectively to play. Everyone's always trying to spend as little time in the physical lines as possible. Everybody wants to pay as few fees as possible and that kind of stuff. For folks like recreational players like us that don't have a lot of experience with the sort of even just the mechanics of registering for this particular tournament series, is there a way, like we've talked about this before, Kevin, sort of like having an account that you can use to play from, wiring money directly, registering online, using kiosks instead of lining up at the cage. I'm just going to ramble here, and then just like, can you just talk about sort of some of those things and how some people might be more savvy than I am about accessing and leveraging all these great tools that they've put together?
Yeah, so this is something that's sort of been it's been done for a few years now. So the important website to go to for this is bravopokerlive.com. People probably know the Bravo Poker app if they're a regular player. That's where you can find out. You can see the tournament clocks. You can see what cash games are running at a lot of casinos. I work for the competition Poker Atlas. We do that on a smaller scale. But anyway, back bravopokerlive.com/venues/WSOP. And that'll be your place where you can register online. You can register right now, as of last week, as of middle August. I'm sorry, keep forgetting. But you can register online for the various WSOP bracelet events. And you could, on the day of the day with deep stacks and satellites, you can also register online for those events. And so if you go to that particular website, you'll see you can see the list of tournaments that you can register right now, which of course are all the bracelet events. And they give you some guides of how to register online, the guide to online registration, the player release form, and a map. So, I think if someone there is on that website right now, we can sort of walk through the process a little bit.
Yeah, Chris volunteered to be our guinea pig here. What's the best way to do that? Do you want to just talk him through it, or should he share a screen, or what's best?
Well, if you on that website right now, Chris?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so let's pretend you're gonna register for the reunion.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna select day 1A, and we're gonna click on that blue Register Now button.
Okay.
Okay, and that should pull up the registration. So you'll see the break. You'll see the date and time. You'll see the buy-in. It's broken down by buy-in admin fee, and then you'll see the transaction fees. So there's and below that you'll see there's 3 different options available. There's online banking, credit or debit card, or a wire transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Now Jim, since he's in Canada, we'll do a wire transfer first, and he'll have the option. He'll be international, of course, because he's not in the U.S. And so basically, there's some buttons you got to click, and then if you click on confirm register, we're not gonna click on that because you'll get some information that we'll just do this for each. So if you click the I understand the online registration purchase and the terms of use and the privacy policy, but there's basically there's going to be a fee. So if you use wire transfer, there's going to be a $3 fee on top of the buy-in, which you'll see as $503. So that's for wire transfer. Now, if you go to your credit and debit card, you'll see. So if you click on that tab, and it'll ask for your name, zip code, credit card number, expiration month, security code, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be the fees are going to be. Let me just double check because there's a couple of different percentages. So it's the standard is
3 something percent. Looks like.
I think it's $3 plus 2.95% or 3.95% if you're using an American Express. I may be off by a little bit there, but that's the standard percentage. So you'll see again the 500 times the percentage of the fee, and you'll get the grand total, and then you put in your information, you hit submit, and then it'll process the payment. Okay, and then the last step, which is new this year, is online banking. So you can use your checking account, your savings account, and they have a list of banks here that are the more popular ones. And then maybe if you use like a credit union or one of the smaller banks around the country, they have over 1,000 that are listed here. Mm-hmm. So you've got a pretty good chance of your bank being on this list if you're in the United States, of course. And there's also a small fee for that as well. I think it's that may be also the 2.9. Is that 2.95? But you'll see that. Well, let's see. I'm gonna do Bank of America because that's my bank, and it's I think it brings up. Do that. Okay. Right, a little bit, but I mean, well, I won't do that because then, but if you go for the processing of that event you want to play or event you want to play, it'll break down the fees that you'll see the fees, you'll see the amount of the fee that you'll be charged before you hit submit.
Mm-hmm.
So some people don't really want to pay another 3%. They feel the rate's too damn high, which I understand. But this is the alternative to standing in line, especially if you're going to play in these weekend events. So it's an option available to a lot of people, and there's people that use credit cards that they use their credit card for points. So that's also another benefit for them. They can just if they pay off their balance every month, they're going to get a bunch of points as well. So that's another benefit for those people.
And I was just going to add too. We just talked about potential. I mean, we don't know. This is unknown. So, but there could be a dealer shortage. There could be a table limit. This is a way that you can register both quickly and in advance, so that you don't have to worry about it. You're in before the rest of the people.
Exactly. Exactly. And so when you go after you make your payment, then you when you head to Vegas and you go to the WSP, you'll have to for the first time you do this transaction. It's every year. This process has to be done. You have to get verified. So you have to verify, you have to show your picture ID, your passport, something that proves that's who you are. And one of the key things to make sure you do before you leave is to make sure that your ID is valid and not expired. Because there's definitely I see people tweet at me or tweet at the WSP account for that matter, that their ID expired and they forgot and they can't play because you have to have valid ID.
And I'll add a tip because I had a friend who did this. Bring the credit card with which you signed up for, not just any credit card. Because
right. You have to show the credit card. You have to show your credit card.
But the exact one that you signed up for.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point, Chris. Yes, you have to use during the verification process. You have to use that. If you use a credit card, debit card, you have to show them that credit or debit card because that's the one you register with.
Now might that be an issue if your card expired the next month or something? I guess I'm always the guy that tries to test the weird academic cases that'll never come up in the real world. But
it should be fine. But I mean,
just bring them both, folks. Don't shred that old one until you're through the tournament series.
And also for players that are coming in from outside the U.S., they require like your credit card, passport, and something that shows your address, like a credit card statement, your rent receipt, or something. You're going to need to, I would, they suggest it's basically say two different proofs of your address.
Yeah, I was actually on the website today, and for international, they also require 2 pints of your own blood and a finger. The finger doesn't have to be yours. I'm not sure. It wasn't very clear why they request that, but someone's finger apparently also as well. No, they're being very strict about that this year.
Yeah, and they say you have to do this, 1 hour before. But I mean, look, if you're going to be in Vegas, let's say you come in on Friday, you're going to play Saturday. Show up, do it on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Get verified, at your earliest convenience because the Belize ballroom is should be it's a room. You'll see there'll be plenty of signage there, but because in the previous years they were using the Caesars Rewards desk right before pavilion. But this is a room. This is a ballroom that's sort of like on the left. It's down that hall. It's on the hall in the hallway before you get to the pavilion. But like I said, there'll be plenty of signage. You'll see people in line, I'm sure. But it seems like they're going to have a lot more windows open, so that would sort of speed up the process. Because I mean, I would see lines for like the big five, the big 50 millionaire or like events, like especially at the start of the series, you would see 200. It would be the line would be 200 people deep.
Yeah, I was there for the big 50 last year or 2019, and I'll just say that the line to verify was way longer than the line to buy in. Like it just took it. So that's the one they like. If you're gonna do it, get there early or do it a day before or something.
Right. Yeah. Definitely don't. I mean, they suggest an hour, but it's look, if you're going to check out if you want to mill around and check out check out the Rio and the WSP, I would do it, get verified then. And then the convenient thing is that if you play more events using that same credit card, you register online, and then you go to the fast track kiosks that I'm sure you've seen, Chris, and I'm sure you guys have seen that kiosk. You swipe. Well, you also need to have you also have to have your Caesars Rewards card. That's also something you need to have with you because they need because that's what you use to swipe your card. So you swipe your player's card, and then it'll pull up your account, and then this event, you register for this event, you select the event, and then it'll print out your seat assignment.
Nice. So that's how to use the key. That's how the kiosks kind of replace actually just lining up in person at the cage.
Right,
for,
exactly.
For the individual ones, yeah.
Right. If you just registering in person, it's basically you pay your $500 cash. You get you show your ID, your player's card, and then they print out a receipt. So this is just the same process, but you don't have to wait in line.
And folks, I know this isn't the sexy side of poker, but let me tell you, dreams die in the details of this stuff. People get down to Vegas, they show up to play in their event. Oh, I've got to get verified. Oh, okay. And then by the time they get that done, and now there's a 200-person lineup to get their actual seat assignment, and they've missed 4 hours of play, and now they're flustered. So we talk about this all the time. I know this sounds stupid and maybe even just like elementary, but show up the day before. Just show up the day before. Get familiar with the space. Find out where the washrooms are. Learn where the cage is. Get verified. And, the guys here are telling you, if you're able to, register in advance online and just take that whole step out of it.
Right. Or, you can also like again, you can also register in person if you don't want to pay fees. I can understand that as well. But, it's sort of like, you got your trading conveniences here.
Yes.
You're saving a few dollars in fees if you wait in line. But if you go in person, maybe you want to show, the registration is going to be open 24/7. And, we can, if you want to show up at 3 a.m. and register, they'll happily take your money.
That's the gym play right there. I don't want to pay fees and I don't want to wait in line. I'll just set an alarm and bring a book or something. That's
the only thing is maybe main event time. Then you could see line especially on 1D or 1 1B. You would see lines at 3 a.m.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Okay. So yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I think you're
so actually, I had one other question about that when we talk about sort of logistics of table caps and not having enough dealers and that sort of thing. Obviously, they cap entries. They cap the number of original entries. When it comes to sort of rebuy events or re-entry events, how does that get handled logistically? Do they have to also kind of have like a waiting list of rebuys or something in real time, or how do they prioritize that?
Now that's still more tricky. Because I don't want to be 100% certain because I've never re-entered using the online registration.
Oh yeah. I guess I do mean versus in the online registration, but also just generally. So yeah, thank you.
So if you're right, let's just do live re-entry. That's probably going to be easier. You're going to be back in that same line. There's probably not going to be there's not going to be a separate area for re-entry. You're going to be in that same line with everyone else that's entering other events. So. It will probably be something like what we've seen, again, in bigger events where they sort of they've maxed out seating, but they're taking, they're doing late registration. You can be in you could be in a late, you'll get a seat that says late registration, or you'll basically a table and seat that doesn't really exist. So you'll have to go to a floor, you'll be waiting in line, go to a floor person, and then they'll give you a seat card to where you're supposed to go, and they'll give you your chips, and away you go.
And just to be clear, you'd sort of be in line with everyone else, whether they were rebuying or signing up for the first time.
Or registering for other tournaments.
Well, right. Yeah, good point. Good point.
You're going to be in that. There's no, this could be completely different, but
sure.
I'm basing this on previous years.
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's going to be in one line. Now, there may be, I know what's happened, in previous years, you could use different cages. Because there's the main registration cage, but in 2019, there's definitely, you could go to the Daily Deep, because the Daily Deep Stacks have their own cage. You could go there and register. That would definitely be ideal if you sometimes on the Twitter, if you follow my account or even follow the Kev Math account or the WSP account, I will say Daily Deep Stack, they're taking registrations for the Millie Maker. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to wait in this, you can wait in this line that's 300 deep. Or in this one that's 20 deep. Take your pick.
Yep. Well, you can lead a horse to water, Kevin?
Exactly. My goal is to try to get and that's the same goal as WSP. They want to get as many people in the tournament as possible that want to play.
Yep.
So they give you they'll have other cages open for that purpose.
Good point.
as needed.
Yeah. Well, and I'll ask one question, and I'll let the guys think about if they have anything else they want to jump in, or if some of our members, like Martha, who's here in the chat. Hi, Martha. Thanks for joining us today. It's nice to see you.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Martha's the best. We love her. So then I guess one question I have, you talk about sort of getting as many people that are interested in it as possible into it. That's kind of what you're all about, isn't it, Kevin? And so I know you're launching this Substack this week, or I think it maybe just launched. By the time people listen to this, tell them where they can go and find out more about this and why they should.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a thing where, like I mentioned in the tweets that I made about this a few days ago. It's sort of like, people ask me at times, how to support me in various ways, and I, of course, there's one in my Twitter bio now that I mentioned, and this is a new one that I'm doing, and it's called the Kev Math Report. I know it's a very original title. So it's going to be a newsletter. It's a free newsletter for now. Hopefully, if enough people like it, I can charge a couple bucks a month for it. But you can go to kevmath.substack. That's sub like in Subway, stack like in get stacked.com, and sign up. And in the first couple of hours when I announced this on Twitter, I got over 300 signups, which was like,
yes, that
blew me away. And it sort of puts the pressure on me, like, I better produce some really quality content, because I'm sort of like, there's a certain expectation that people have, and I'm sort of like, I better promise, better do a really good job. But it kind of helps to be respected in the poker communities, which is definitely helping here. And if I eventually get to the part where I pay, then that would be ideal. But we'll see how it goes. It's it's basically, the basic idea is that it's sort of like, it's basically doing a little bit of review of what's happened in the past week, and sort of a preview of what's coming up in the following week. So hopefully this will continue forever, ideally. But
nice.
But
like
my first issue came out on the 24th of August. So hopefully by the time that people can sign up for issue 2 and read issue 1, and we'll see how it goes. But like I said, it's I've always, like I was saying before, it's like the people appreciating what I do. It is very humbling, and I think I said before, it's like, I do certain things very well and certain things not as well. So I'm trying to emphasize on things I do really well, and people appreciate that. So I'm just trying to repay that with doing this, and we'll see how it goes.
That's awesome. I know that's something I think we always talk about here all the time, is like knowing what you do well and what you don't do well, and just sticking to what you do well. Like how great would it be if we could just all go through life only doing things that we were good at and enjoy it, right?
Exactly.
John or Chris, did one of you guys want to jump in there?
I just wanted to mention that your subscriber count has gone up by at least 1 while you were on this podcast.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I had to turn off my phone because I would get like emails constantly, and it was just like, I didn't really want that to be part of the broadcast.
What a guy. And I know, so what I'm hearing is, if you're hearing this podcast on the day that it comes out, you have a chance to go check out the Substack and get not only last week's, but this week's. You get a little 2-for-1 deal this week.
Exactly.
You can get all caught up. And
exactly.
Kevin, for the old folks like me, why Substack? What is a Substack? Explain sort of the logistics of what exactly that is and why it's the right medium for you.
Well, for me, it's, like I said, people suggest, offered, ask me how to support me. And, like I said, there's like, I wouldn't think Patreon would really be a good idea, because it's not like, Patreon's more like of a podcast or a video type of thing. And I don't really like being in front of a camera, to be honest. And I'm not really to have the best, talking for long periods of time is not my idea of fun. So, Substack is sort of like Patreon. There's, other services. I won't use that one, but it's sort of like it's a subscription service. There's free, some people do free content, some do paid content, and it's sort of like, it's more like for people that write. So I'm doing this writing of that's writing, people do newsletters, and they write opinion pieces and commentaries. So that's sort of what I'm just doing, more of a newsletter thing. And like, someone mentioned on Twitter, there's really hasn't been anyone has done something poker related on Substack. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there's probably people that do it, but I personally don't know of any. But that doesn't mean there's people doing it. So
Nice.
I mean, I'm sort of taking advantage of that, and if I get paid for it, paid for doing this, that would be ideal as well. But again, we start out free, and hopefully enough people will appreciate the free stuff that when I start charging a couple bucks, they'll stick around.
That's right. That's the dream, right? And that's, that's exactly what we are here at Rec Poker. We do a lot of free stuff, community events, the forums. And I know, Kevin, you're really active in the Rec Poker forums, which I just think is so cool. Seeing Kev Math posting in the Rec Poker forums, I love that. But then we also have like this premium membership that people can join for $15 a month. And I know a lot of people join to get the benefit of the training videos and the training sessions that Chris and Rob and the guys put together. But I think a lot of other people just do it because it's a nice way to help support what we do at Rec Poker, just in the same way that you're describing, because it helps us, keep the website active. We've got a lot of other costs associated with the overhead. And it's just a nice way to say, thanks for doing what you do every month. And I think that's exactly what you're getting at there. So I hope you have some great success with that. There's no one I'd rather get behind.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And, like, if people appreciate what we're doing for free, and then you charge, they'll happily pay for bonus content. And, I'm sure it's working out. How long have you guys been paid doing the paid service?
We added, I guess actually, I want to say sort of like spring of 2019, guys. Is that right? I think I joined the old website for $10 a month that spring or summer or something like that. And but it's been, that was sort of to give people a chance to have a way to support Rec Poker Nation. So I guess coming up on a couple years since that was officially started.
Right.
I feel old.
And it's around for 2.5 years, so you're doing something right.
I guess so. Yeah, now I feel great about it. Thanks, Kev. That's nice. Kev Math approved. We've got a new hashtag.
There you go. You go from the color now. That would be it.
That's right. We'll take care of that in post.
Yeah. Your color always been like concern.
That would be by far the most extensive post-production work we've ever done on this podcast. I can confidently assure you.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're not exactly the most polished operation, but god dang, we have a good time over here, don't
we? Exactly. That's why you're the wrecking crew.
Yes. The
wrecking crew. You're not the wrecking specialist or wrecking artists. You're the wrecking crew.
See, I feel seen. I feel like Kevin gets us, guys. This is it. There we are.
I'm a recreational. I'm definitely no poker professional. That's for sure.
Well, hey, you're such a resource. We should make you an official member of the Wrecking Crew. Get you a little promo page over here at Rec Poker. We can link to all your good stuff. Actually, I started joking, but now I'm kind of serious. Let's get Kev Math on the gang. Let's talk.
I could. Maybe I can make some occasional appearances on the show, and we can figure something out.
I love that idea. All right, well, perfect. Well, you heard it here first, folks. More breaking news tonight. We're gonna see what we can do with Kevin Mathers. What an exciting day!
Okay.
Where can people reach you, and what's the best way to get in touch when they want to, Kevin?
Well, they can always follow me on at KevMath is the ideal place to go.
That's a good one.
And also, like I created an account for the Vegas tournament series. That's at KevMath Vegas. And there's also, like I said, we have the kevmath.substack.com. And there is one more thing about registration that we haven't really discussed yet that I think we should go over because
let's.
So for people that are going to be playing several events this summer, it's something that they've created in the past couple of years. It's called the WSOP tournament account. And the general idea is you basically send money to, you send it for wire transfer, cash or check, whatever, and your bank account, checking account, and they'll hold your money there in safekeeping. And then, of course, you have to go to the registration desk to get verified. And it's basically like a pool of money where you can draw from to pay for your tournaments. So it's basically, say you send $10,000 to the WSOP, and then you get verified for the tournament by the tournament account, and then you can go online and say, I want to play the Millionaire Maker. So you go in, you log into your account online. You've got $10,000. You're going to take 1,500 out. Plus, there's a $3 fee for that, because Bravo Poker, that's their part of their fees. And then it's the same process. Basically, you go to a kiosk, print your C assignment, and away you go. And you go to your table, or like I said, you do it in advance or whatever. And it's definitely, because I know some people like to do safe deposit boxes as well, but safe deposit boxes are really expensive. And I'm not really sure. I haven't heard they usually don't discuss the prices until closer to the start of the series, and usually like $300 at least per a box. And I know there's been people that have been asking about that. I don't know at this moment if there's going to be safe deposit boxes for 2021. So doing a tournament buy-in account probably be the better thing to do for some players that are going to be sending a large amount of money. Or maybe even a moderate amount. Maybe you're going to play 2 events, and so you send $3,100 or whatever, and use the tournament buy-in credits, to, instead of waiting in line. Again, it's another you're trading. You've already sent the money, so now you just pay for events online. Withdraw from the account, and away you go.
And Kevin, just so we're perfectly clear on that, so in that case, it's basically like a separate account that you get to draw from automatically to enter the tournaments that you want to enter. And if you, for instance, you'd put enough in there to cover all your rebuys, for instance. And
right.
If at the end of the series, if you didn't use all that money, you could just withdraw the balance.
Right. That will be, yes, you will be able to withdraw that from your account, and then you can use that. It's basically like your money again.
Right.
And that's another issue with safe deposit. People like to wait until the last minute to take their money out of their safe deposit box, and if you don't do it in time, they're going to drill a hole in your box. They're going to hold your money, obviously, but you're going to have to pay the fee. If you lose your key, you're going to have to pay that. If they have to drill the box, you're going to have to pay for that. So again, tournament buying. They said in 2019 there was over 1,500 players that set up a tournament buying account. So I think hopefully this year that number will go up, and more people will also use the online registration. Especially with having you can use your bank account this year. Again, people don't want to be in line standing next to other people. They kind of want to be away from people as much as possible.
That's true. And even if you live in the States, it's nice not to have to actually handle the cash and be walking around with the cash. There's a security element there that I'm sure people have different levels of comfort with. But if you're an international player like me, you also have to worry about bringing the cash across the border, or transferring, wiring it down there, and then you're moving the cash around. And so I'm definitely interested. I'm definitely taking a close look at that my tournament account as a way of just kind of streamlining that whole process. So we'll see. I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've never personally used a tournament buying account. So someone like yourself is able to use it, and you can definitely tell people how great this is. For people are coming down later in the series or whatever. That would be that's certainly and anyone else in the rec poker community has done the process. If we'd be good to let people know how it's worked, how convenient it was, if there were issues that you had, it's good to let people know, because I think there may have been some hiccups early on in the process, but again,
I'm sure
it was relatively new in 2019. I think they did like a very trial pieces in 2018, but they sort of ramped it up, and it kind of flew under the radar for some people. Some people they mentioned Daniel Brown was one who really loved the tournament buying account, because they could just go to Bravo Poker Live, boom, 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 and away they go.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm excited to see how it goes. And Rec Poker Nation listeners, if you've had any experience with the kiosks or with the My Tournament account or anything like that, there's a Rec Poker forum that's free for anyone to use. Just go to rec.poker, sign up. All it takes is an email address and a smile, and you can ask questions and get tagged KevMath. He's in there at KevMaths in the Rec Poker common space. And maybe he can send you to the right place or answer your questions like the rest of the panel. You never know.
Yeah, and also, if you want to email instead, kevmath@gmail.com is a good resource as well. I do my best to respond as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think he's crazy. He's one of these guys like me putting his email address out there in the world. But that's right. You can reach out to him, and Kevin's really good, especially on Twitter. He's always very generous with his time, and he's very quick to respond. So, we're a bunch of pleasers here at Rec Poker. We all like making people's lives easier and happier and helping them out. So don't hesitate to reach out. I can say that.
Yeah, that's that. I'll do my best to help as many people as possible because they want everyone wants to have the best experience possible at the WSOP, and the easier that things can be to make, we as a staff person can do to make that better. We're all for that.
That's awesome. All right. Well, we're going to play our Jonathan Little ad here. So, Kevin, thank you for coming on the show again today. And we'll get into some little community happenings afterwards, which, of course, you're welcome to stick around for. But I think you'll find it's a little inward gazing for the Rec Poker crowd for you. But thank you again for staying. And I always appreciate your time.
Oh, no problem. I'm glad to be on. And thanks again for having me on. And hopefully I'll be on in the near future.
Yeah, count on it, bud.
In color. That would be ideal.
In color, that's right. Coming to you. All right, thanks again, sir. Here we go.
No problem.
Have you ever wondered whether you should call a preflop raise or 3-bet instead? What do
do
you
you
do when you
mind
have
if
a
I
flush
ask
draw? Do you raise it or do you just call? What do you do with ace-king when you miss the flop? Are you tired of guessing about what the right play is with your particular hand? Well, my name is Jonathan Little, and I am a 2-time World Poker Tour champion and creator of PokerCoaching.com, where we offer over 1,000 interactive hand quizzes where you play a hand and then get real-time feedback from our world-class pros. Don't guess and don't stress. Just register for your free account at PokerCoaching.com/recpoker right now.
That's our friend Jonathan Little. We're always glad to have him here as well. Kevin, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, I apologize. So I'm looking on the Running Aces because I know you guys are sponsored by Running Aces, and I noticed starting tomorrow is the big Rec Poker No Limit Hold'em Tuesday tournament.
That's right. That's one of the things I was going to talk about. How exciting!
Yeah, because I was seeing because I do stuff. When I working for Poker Atlas, is like Minnesota is one of my areas I cover, and I know Running Aces, of course, hasn't had tournaments for a long time, and I noticed you guys are having your tournament starting tomorrow, which of course is nice. Which I'm sure you and the Wrecking crew are happy to be a part of.
We're pretty excited, yeah.
Yeah, because it seems like they were also going to do. There was going to be other tournaments at Running Aces, but they were going to do a different format. Is this just like this one looks like let me click on the details here because I'm on the website. It looks like it's going to be a standard tournament. No, is it? It looked like they were going to do other tournaments, but they were going to do it was sort of going to be like a shootout type of thing, or
I believe this is a sort of a typical freeze out. I know
right,
I'm actually Steve and John. Well, Steve's not here tonight. Steve knows a little more about the details. I am afraid to say it. I've never been to Running Aces because I'm on the wrong side of the border.
Right.
So, but I know it's. I know we've been a Running Aces fan for a long time, and they're bringing live tournaments back.
Yeah, I was there. I've been there once myself.
Nice.
I definitely had myself a nice time, and I had a few beverages. One of the events they had there. But,
is that the one beer? Yeah. Is that the one beer per level?
No, I don't do that. That was 1,100. I was not doing a beer level. I think I had a few towards the end of the night. I don't know. I assume some of you guys know Rooster Poker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a few beverages. I think we were at the same table at the beer. I actually made a day two. And I think I had one of his favorite beverages, or 2 or 3. I can't remember at the moment. But
I would tend to guess that he probably had more than you.
I would agree. Yeah. He has a special beverage there, from what I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like I was like going back to the tournament. It was like you guys, this tournament was going to be like a regular tournament, like a freeze out or whatever. But then like Running Aces, they announced they were going to do tournaments in August. And then, like, I was looking at the website. I think it's disappeared now, but it was like you win your table, and then there's like a wild card, and then wacky stuff like that. But it doesn't look like that's there. I don't know if they got rid of that idea, or
I don't know. I know there was. I'm always kind of curious about these weird little formats that come out there. Like I was awfully tempted to get involved in that flip tournament down on that Sunday in October, but I just don't know that I can justify it. It's just such a weird, like, I don't feel like I'm responsibly playing a skill game anymore when I get into that format.
I mean, there's a little bit of skill, but I mean, it's basically got, it's crazy pineapple, and then you're all in you're all in. But yeah, it's sort of gonna be interesting how that plays out because it is gonna be 8-handed. It's 8-handed tables.
Mm-hmm.
So some people may like that because they don't want to play 10-handed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I'm just looking at, so based on the website, it says pick a you for these tournaments, not your tournament, not the rec
Yes.
poker. It says pick a qualifying round to enter, 4 times to choose from. Winners from each table advance to the semifinal. Then the top player is a high chip winner and a wild card drawing winner advance to the finals to play for cash. So it's, well, these are like $20 or $30 tournaments. So it's sort of like, looks like they pay 6 spots. So I don't know if it's 6-handed tables or what the deal is there, or maybe it's 8 and then I don't know. But
John's more the tournament structure guy here on the panel. John, have you had a chance to take a look at this format that they're advertising over at Running Aces?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's runaces.com/cards/tournaments. And then you scroll down past the rec poker, obviously. We've already discussed that. And yeah, it's like they haven't, like, again, I think they were playing this like the second week in August, and it hasn't happened yet. I don't think they've run one, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know they wanted to open up some of the live stuff earlier in August, and they had to put it off a little. So maybe that was part of that as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
We'll probably put a post in the forums if the listeners are interested. They can go check out the forum there. We've actually got a group set up at the website just for players that play at Running Aces. So people can share messages and updates and stats and news and stuff like that in there. So maybe we'll get some posts about that.
Yeah. I was looking at that. I know, like, you guys are sponsored by Running Aces, so I figured that would be. So maybe not discuss. I assume you guys will discuss that shortly.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, I'm not going to get a better segue than that. There is this running every Tuesday now, every Tuesday morning. I think it's at 10 a.m. At Running Aces. If you've got a shorter drive than from Southern Ontario, I recommend that you go and join. There's going to be a fun crowd there. It's the Rec Poker Weekly Tournament. We are going to be tracking Player of the Year points each week I'm not sure if it's for everyone who enters or it's just in the final table. Steve will have some notes about that probably next week. And there'll be some fun to be had with that, I'm sure. And of course, there's just going to be a lot of fun people there if it's a Rec Poker tournament on Tuesday mornings at 10. And I'm just jealous of all you folks that get to play live poker. I'm going to try and take a trip somewhere soon where I can play some live poker. Fingers crossed. Keep your fingers crossed for me, folks. We'll just see. I need it.
I'll do that for everyone.
Yeah, cheers. But in the online world, John, why don't you talk a little bit about our online home games where we're out there battling for the pins? I know we've got a heads-up match coming up as well. And you know what? I'm going to pre-interrupt John here for a second. Out of respect, I'm going to pre-interrupt John and say that we've actually got a few exciting things going on in September. I won't get too specific, but you should circle September 18th. And it's not just for what John's about to mention. Just circle September 18th and write Rec Poker there. And then we'll talk about some other reasons why you might do that after.
Yeah, so now that we're over with this WSOP fluff, we can get what everyone really wants to listen to, which of course is the Rec Poker home game. So on August 16th, Trey 371, Thomas Pena got his third nightly victory for the year. John Lutzy got his 5th for the year. 8th.
Good to see you, John.
Rick the Good Dog, Rick Rock Omen, got his 2nd nightly for the year.
Just a bunch of OGs in here.
Then, of course, Gopher Boy TJM, Taylor Moss on August 19th, which I believe was his Twitch Thursday night. Yeah.
Oh, of course it was. Good for him.
For his 5th. So I think that is either the 2nd or 3rd time he has won a Rec Poker tournament while streaming on Twitch.
Yeah,
I had 12th.
That's right.
My guess.
Anyone can join if you want to go to twitch.tv/recpoker. Every Thursday night, Taylor Moss Twitch streams his play in the Rec Poker nightly home game at 8 p.m. Central. And if you guess what place he finishes in, you can win a prize. And we also have a new prize pool for subscribers that go and join there. If you've got an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe for free every month, and it helps us out. So go check that out every Thursday and play along with Taylor.
And then on August 20th, Gibber 3, Jim Gibson,
Gibber.
got his second nightly victory.
And I got to jump in here. I'm sorry, John, for one
That's
sec,
all right.
because Jim Gibson and his son, Daniel, play on a bowling league. And I am happy to report that Rec Poker now sponsors its very first bowling league. So we sent some patches down there to the guys. They're called the Wrecking Balls. And Jim and Dan, if you're hearing this, I'm so excited. I know Steve is over the moon. We can't believe we're involved as sponsors of your bowling league, but I want to see some photos so we can send them out there. I want to see the shirts. I want to see you guys go out there and kick some butt in that league and bring home the trophy. So go do it, guys. Way to go.
And then on August 21st, we had Dan 33 1480 got his second nightly victory.
Nice.
And Dan is one of those elusive people that chooses to keep his real name private, his or her. It may, not even be, his name may not actually be Dan.
Good
you never really know.
Good point. That's true.
And then we move on to the mixed event.
Yes.
And that is none other than McVean, Chad McVean.
Chad McVean.
First daily mixed series win.
That's my guy. Way to go, Chad. Way to go. See, Kevin, I told you what you were in for if you stuck around. You came into this with your eyes open, buddy. All right, just so we're on the same page.
Then for the international events, Spike.
Oh, there we go. We got him again. Spike, You got him.
Fifth international victory. And then MN Ted Phil Fuhrer got his first international victory.
Nice. He's on a roll because he's been winning. He's won a few of these other tournaments recently, though, right? You've been shouting him out, I think.
Oh yeah, he's won quite a few. He actually used to host a poker podcast here in Minnesota before we did even.
Yeah, I remember.
CPL poker podcast. So he's been around for a while. And then for our LPP Sunday event, Kevin Kelsenberg got his first LPP win. So you can contact Jim at rec.poker for your free month at Learn Pro Poker.
Nice. Good to see Kevin back in the winner's circle. Missed you, buddy. And yeah, email me, Jim at rec.poker. Let's set you up with your free month of Learn Pro Poker membership.
And of course, one of the things that you should be paying attention to on September 18th is going to be our Heads Up event. So it'll be a shootout. You can sign up for the Heads Up event, and the winner of that tournament will be able to play in Marek Madness next year.
Yes, sir. I can't wait for that. I'm definitely looking forward to that. I got to earn my way in because John and I were both bested by the spring champion of the Heads Up series, Kelly Stork, who took us both to town, took us out to the woodshed and beat us and claimed the crown. So this is a chance for us to come back in and get some bragging rights back with the Heads Up crew. So Rob, I know we got back for another book study. How's that going? And what's the next session going to be about?
Well, we're still working on Raise First In. Oh, by the way, it's Modern Poker Theory by Michael Acevedo.
Yeah, so just a little one for us to take on.
And we started Raise First In tournament poker, and our whole session last time was on the small blind, because the small blind has so many nuances when you talk about GTO strategies, or equilibrium strategies. Now we're going to be getting into button, cutoff, hijack, so forth, and that'll go a lot quicker. So I think we'll be able to get through all of the Raise First In subject matter probably on the next session, which would be, I believe, September 1st. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. First and third Wednesday
of September
every month. I like it. And that's great, man. That's the kind of book that you need some friends to get through. You need some motivation to stick with that and to bounce some ideas off people, because it's densely packed with amazing, good technical poker knowledge. But it's hard to get through without a little help, I think.
And I believe you'll be hearing this podcast the day before that. It should be August 31st that this
Great
will
point.
come out. So if you hear this and you want to get involved and you haven't yet, get the book, obviously. You want to read the book, but you can also see all of the previous sessions on Rec Poker as a premium member. So you can catch up to where we're at, see what we've been talking about, see the rabbit holes we've gone down, and be prepared to join us on Wednesday, September 1st.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a good time. We have some fun in that session too. You will not be surprised to hear. So the other reason you should circle September 18th is that I'm teased it at the top of the show, but Sky Matsuhashi is actually going to be joining our team here every month. He is going to co-host with me one of our Saturday study groups. So on the third Saturday of every month, you can join Sky Matsuhashi and I to talk about a feature-length premium training video that Sky is going to share with our premium members at the beginning of the month. So some of our regular listeners will know we have a similar relationship with Learn Pro Poker. On the first day of the month, we release about a 45 to 60-minute training video just from LPP. And then we meet later in the month on the fourth Saturday to go over that material. Sometimes we get a guest from LPP to join, and those sessions are free for Rec Poker members and LPP members. So I'm so excited to be bringing Sky on board. On the first Saturday of the month, we'll release a longer training video from the Poker Forge, or another piece of hidden paywalled material of Sky's. And then every month, you're going to be able to come and join me and him on the third Saturday of the month to have a Q&A, to talk about all the stuff. And if you think I know about Poker Tracker 4 and reports and HUDs and filters and how to drill down on people, Sky is going to blow you out of the water. If you don't know who Sky Matsuhashi is, or if you haven't gone to his free YouTube site, Smart Poker Study, first of all, just go there right now and go check that out. But anyway, it's just another great reason to become a Rec Poker Premium member, because for $15 a month, you're just going to get more access to these great people like Ryan the Plant, Sky Matsuhashi, Matt Berkey with Solve for Why, James Splitsuit Sweeney, Jonathan Little, and PokerCoaching.com. Just a few of the learning partners we have here that are passionate about sharing their advanced training material with recreational players like us. So for $15 a month, come in and try some of this great stuff that we're doing around the site there as well. And you can have some fun like John Somsky, who likes to go retro every once in a while and bring it back into black and white. Solidarity with Kevin. I like that. That's nice. It's it's an inclusive community here. You see how we like to do things around here. All right. I guess, okay, fine. We've got Kev Math here, so I can't not say there is a Rec Poker house this year for WSOP. I am personally going to be there to turn the key and open the place up on October 6th. I have it on good authority that the one and only Chad McVean is also going to be in Las Vegas at that time. And a few exciting premium members are going to come down that week and join us. Kevin, if you're around early October, it's where all the fun's going to be happening. Just saying.
I'm sure you're going to be doing some live shows from the house, right?
Now you're talking. I
could maybe I'll find the day off and I'll make a visit by the house. That would be that would be kind of cool to meet the wrecking crew in person.
Yes, I love that idea. I'm just looking at the calendar here. Let's make that happen, my man. Okay, so we're definitely doing that. Kevin, we're following up. You're going to be so sick of me by the time next couple months are done. Oh, I already pity you. Rob and John know what I'm talking about. You poor bugger.
I mean, I just got to figure out when. Just got to figure out the when, because I mean, the one concern is going to be like it's going to be a hectic fall. And
are you gonna have a lot going on? Are you gonna have a lot going on around then? Is that kind of a busy time for you? Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But I would like to not be at the Rio, because I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be at the Rio for 65 days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I fly in the Sunday that Sunday that week, and I leave. I take the red eye on Thanksgiving.
Why? Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. You're really wringing every possible moment out of that window, aren't you? Yeah.
Well, the last day is the 23rd. So it's, nice. I gotta enjoy a day or at least a day of
Yep.
poker. So
You're right. You're right. Well, hey, we're going to be the respite. That's it. We're a little
There you
off
go.
the strip. We want to be that place to come and regrow those nerve endings and remaster your Zen, man. That's what we're going to be all
I
about.
may need to make multiple visits to
Yeah,
to
that's
the
what
house.
I love it.
We'll see how it goes. But I hope to make at least one visit to the house and check it out.
That's awesome. Well, I hope it's between the 6th and the 17th. That's when I'm going to be there. But if it's
I
not,
think
I'm
it
sure
should-
we'll have a good time.
Yeah, I think I could. I'm figuring that. So, like, I think my first official date. Well, I could probably take his days off as I want, but I think the 6th is Robbie Straczynski's
Yeah.
horse tournament at the Westgate. So that's gonna be. I told him that I would try my best to play that event. So that's gonna be a day out. But I figure somewhere. Well, maybe if I bust out early, I could come to the house or whatever.
Hey,
But
now we're talking.
so we'll
Yeah.
figure out there because I mean, the winner it's a platinum pass. So I would like to win. I would like to win another platinum pass.
Yeah.
So that's kind of ideal. Not
Yeah.
not bad. Play a little horse for a couple $100, win $30,000 package.
Sounds pretty
Yeah.
good. Sounds pretty good. And Robbie said he's so good for the game. He's got such an infectious passion for mixed games and that sort of thing. I'm glad he's getting on with that. That's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I agree. It's he is definitely the most positive. Look, he has nothing on Phil Hellmuth may think he has positivity. Robbie has it like in multitude.
Yeah, it's true.
Robbie Straczynski is he's a very nice gentleman, and he's done a lot of good things, and I hope that his mixed game festival at Westgate works out very well.
Yeah, same here. Well, he's a longtime friend of the show, and I know he's an easy guy to root for. So
Yeah,
I hope that festival goes off. A lot of fun, and I'm not the mixed game guy on this crew, so I'm not going to be down there playing in it myself. But we'll be certainly trying to spread the word. And Robbie, if you're listening, good luck with that, man, and congratulations on all that and everything else, the exciting stuff you're getting up to these days. Good for you. All right. Well, Kevin, again, you're so sweet to give us all this time and to share all this wonderful insight and experience. I want to thank you. I want to thank Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. I want to thank Martha for staying in the chat. John and Rob, website amp and Running Aces Hotel, Racetrack, and Casino. Okay, see you next week, everybody.